In South Africa, during the time of the apartheid era, black people from the age of 16 years old, they were actually forced to carry a book. That book was known in Afrikaans as a dompas. A dompas translates in English as a stupid book. The other name, it was known as the reference book. It was a booklet that was brown in color, written in English and in Afrikaans. It's similar to an ID book or to a passport. It will give the full details of the person, also give the areas that they were allowed to go, what time they were allowed to be seen in those areas, and what time they were actually not allowed to be seen in the areas. Remember also during the time of the apartheid era in South Africa, the policemen, if they will see a crowd of black people walking on the street, then they were allowed to stop them and ask if they can provide those dombases. When they were caught by the policemen and they did not have the dombas with them, or if they had it but it was expired, they would actually be arrested. That means they will have to go and spend 6 months in prison.
That means we were 6. But because of torture, by the time we appeared in court, the one guy had already been tortured to death. Tortured to death by South African security police. Immediately after having been arrested, we were kept in solitary confinement, scattered around different prisons of Durban, each man kept in his own cell. We spent 6 months and 2 weeks in solitary confinement. It was in those circumstances that the guy was tortured to death. And then the actual arrest happened in February, even though we only came here in December. We were arrested in February. And then the court case went on for a few weeks, few months. December 84, we were sentenced, coming here at age 22.
How guy is there? Can you try to speak in Kosa?
No.
Like others? Okay.
Oh, hello. Like and subscribe. Comment below.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
1 day and 3 days is cheaper.
Yeah.
You get all lots of things.
Alright guys. And what is your mother language over there?
Oh, Spanish.
Spanish. Oh, ¿cómo estás?
Yes, ¿cómo estás? Hola,
Gracias.
¿cómo estás? Karibu Tanzania.
They were coming all over from South Africa. They were based on Robben Island in complex. This was counted as one of the prison. The prison was only meant for Mr. Sobukwe. Mr. Sobukwe was the leader or the founder of the Pan-Africanist Congress, born on the 5th of December in 1924. In 1960, that's when he became the leader or the founder of the Pan-Africanist Congress. In South Africa, during the time of the apartheid era, black people from the age of 16 years old, they were actually forced to carry a book. That book was known in Afrikaans as a dompas. A dompas translates in English as a stupid book. The other name, it was known as the reference book. It was a booklet that was brown in color, written in English and in Afrikaans. It's similar to an ID book or to a passport. It will give the full details of the person, also give the areas that they were allowed to go, what time they were allowed to be seen in those areas, and what time they were actually not allowed to be seen in the areas. Remember also during the time of the apartheid era in South Africa, the policemen, if they will see a crowd of black people walking on the street, then they were allowed to stop them and ask if they can provide those dombases. When they were caught by the policemen and they did not have the dombas with them, or if they had it but it was expired, they would actually be arrested. That means they will have to go and spend 6 months in prison. To bail themselves, they had to pay a fee. A fee at that time, it was only a 60 rand. Today, that 60 rand, you might find it so little. But remember, during the time of the apartheid era for a black person, it was actually a lot of money. As the majority of them, they had to go and work for 3 months to earn the 60 rand. So it was definitely not possible to bail themselves out. That means they'll end up spending the whole 6 months in prison. Mr. Sobukwe then, as the leader or as the founder of the Pan-Africanist Congress, on the 21st of March, he led a march by telling every black person in South Africa to leave those dumbases behind at home. They must actually do a peaceful march going to the nearest police station. When they arrive at the stations, they should demand or ask to be arrested. The majority of them woke up early morning on the 21st of March in 1960. They actually followed Mr. Sobukwe's instruction. As they marched, went to the closest stations and shoveled the policemen. They could not take it. They started shooting. On that day, they in Sharpeville, 69 people were killed. The youngest one was only 12 years old, and 180 others were wounded. That day here in South Africa, it was recognized as a Sharpeville massacre, which today, each and every 21st of March, we do have a public holiday which is known as the Human Rights Day. Mr. Sobukwe during the march was in Pretoria. He got arrested in Pretoria, spent 3 years in prison. The governor as well as the cabinet, they sat down to discuss what they should do next with the long pole is standing next to it. It became Mr. Sobukwe's prison. It is the smallest prison that we do have in South Africa. Mr. Sobukwe was kept inside that small house for 6 years, isolated from the other ex-political prisoners, given his own punishment. The punishment were known as the Sobukwe clause. The first one was actually not allowed to communicate with anyone, and the second punishment by the red rope as well. Time to time, the security guards, they will go and fetch the family, bring it to Mr. Sobukwe. Also, during the time of the visitation, it was not the easiest time for Mr. Sobukwe because he was not allowed to do any physical touch. Not even a simple handshake was actually being allowed. That did not make his life easier. It just got worse each and every day. Then going to his 6th year, they decided, as well as going to the Bluestone Quarry. They were promised that they would do that. They may not also design our union buildings in Pretoria. The structure, it actually does not belong to our state. It belongs to the Anglican Church of South Africa. Our website, or you can go to any home affairs that you'll find here in Cape Town. Find out which year you can all come and say, yes, I do. I was told if you do get married at the Garrison Church, it actually becomes a lifetime sentence. With the red arrow. During the time of the apartheid era, it was used as the governor's house, but today it was used as the governor's house. Today it is used as the President's house on Robben Island.
Okay guys, this is a short break. Actually, we are in this Iceland, Robben Island, which falls in Cape Town, and here is the place where the first black president in South Africa, who was Nelson Mandela, actually he in this island, the place where they jailed him. Okay, let's have a little bit break here, and we are going to take some selfies here, some pictures, so that we can have some very quick pictures, because we have something like 10 minutes rest. Okay, so it's like a picture point. Here and take some pictures. Yeah, I've taken some few pictures, so make sure you go check them on YouTube online. It's not over until I win. Alright.
So when you speak in isiXhosa, when you use the click, basically what I'm going to say, let me first say it in English. It's actually a skunk that is being rolling down by the hill. As it goes down by the hill, it keeps hitting itself from one stone to another stone. As it tries to reach the ground, it can actually no longer move because all the body parts are actually broken. So in isiXhosa, it will go. I'm going to repeat it one more time for you, and you have to say it back to me. Is that fine? Now it's all your turn to say it back to me. Well done, well done. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you double check your seat when you are leaving, that you are not leaving anything that you still need with you, because after the prison tour, bus number 5 will not be waiting for you. The new guide that will be leading you inside the prison, he'll also be leading you outside to just to point out which way you have to walk back to catch back your ferry. All I can share with you right now, it's definitely Thank you.
You too, sister. Our guy is there. No, but can you try to speak it closer?
No.
Like others? Okay. Let's meet our guide there, guys. Ready for information.
Second charge, recruiting people to join the military wing of African National Congress. Third charge, leaving the country illegally doing the work of African National Congress. Those were the 3 charges. Of course, I was arrested with other 5 guys. That means we were 6. But because of torture, by the time we appeared in court, the one guy had already been tortured to death. Tortured to death by South African security police. Immediately after having been arrested, we were kept in solitary confinement, scattered around different prisons of Durban. Each man kept in his own cell. We spent 6 months and 2 weeks in solitary confinement. It was in those circumstances that the guy was tortured to death. And then the actual arrest happened in February, even though we only came here in December. We were arrested in February. And then the court case went on for a few weeks, few months. December 84, we were sentenced. Coming here at age 22. You'll have an average of about 750 political prisoners scattered around 9 different sections. Now, to familiarize you with the place, that one is the old prison. Mid-60s, it was shut down. Prisoners being moved from those structures. This one built in the early 60s, by mid-60s it was complete, but it was built by those prisoners as part of prison work, part of hard labor. It was built by those prisoners. To make it more awkward, it was actually built on a site that was part of Robben Island grave site. The graves stretching all the way from that area all the way down. The last graves behind the bus here. Now, that simply means as these guys were digging the trenches as part of building the prison, they were also collecting some human bones from time to time. And then down you 100%.
How long did you have to stay in jail? You said you came in 5 years.
Island, April 1991. I will talk about 3 guys so that you have some idea of what kind of people we had in prison, personalities that we had in prison. In dreadlocks, we used to call him Chairman, but real name James Mange, doing a life sentence in the prison. At first, in the late 70s, this guy was given a death. And then when you go inside, you'll see some mats on the floor. That was for sleeping. Up until 79 prisoners sleeping on the floor. You will also see double bunks that were introduced in the late 70s. And then as part of exhibition, elsewhere you may see that at some point prisoners were having books, and then they were also allowed to do some form of education in the prison. Do know that most of these things were not part of our lives. We had to use hunger strikes, demanding our basic rights, demanding better conditions, basic rights like proper medical care in an environment where generally prisoners were sickly, and then you'll still have prisoners dying in the prison. 3, balanced diet. You should have been here even in the 80s to notice that these prisoners are malnourished. Whatever they are eating is not very nutritious, because most of them are thin, and then around here is like that. That was a sign of kwashiorkor. So that's why you always have to demand balanced diet. And then of course books, newspapers, education. It's G section. We are going to the last door on the left. Yes, there's a question. Hello?
The photos of the guys you have seen here.
Yeah.
They just want to ask from the prisoner's perspective. How do you maintain the unit of purpose by upper light? Because I know that people are talking in solitary cells. The likelihood of trying to treat each other, maybe to give information, was very high. How did you manage at that moment to be able to ensure that we add unit of purpose by the prisoners and then they're fighting for the same cause? How did you manage?
In the prison?
Yes.
You will have section committees to coordinate our things and manage our things and communicate our things. At the center, you'll have your senior leaders, and then the kitchen staff prisoners, because as part of their work, they will go to all the sections when delivering the food. So those were more important when it comes to communication, the kitchen staff prisoners, because their work will allow them to go into different sections. So they were the ones facilitating your communication, dropping written messages, communicating some of the messages by word of mouth. So every day you will always have a sense of what others are thinking about this and are thinking about that. And then at some point,
let's read some instructions a little bit here. Take your time. These are the instructions about that building. Okay. Wow, you can see this birds. Oh, those birds are always flying. Actually, this is the end of our tour in this Robben Island. Okay, the place where Nelson Mandela, as the first black president in South Africa, jailed. Okay. For you. So if you enjoyed this video, let me say thank you very much for watching. And that prison is the place where they jailed Nelson Mandela for 27 years. Okay, let me say don't forget to subscribe. Let's continue to support each other. I'm trying my best to make sure that you guys, you are enjoying, and you too, you can do a favor back, like just clicking on the subscribe button, give a like the video, and things like that. Okay, let's see, maybe we can see something strange. That they were taking us the time that we were going to take a boat and that's them for the first time. These are what they do. You can watch.
Just for today, guys. Only 5-0.
I've taken mine.
You're starting there.
Yeah. This is ours. Wow. Okay, I come from Tanzania. Thank you very much. Yeah.
From Kilimanjaro?
Yeah. Actually, that is the highest mountain in Africa. 3 different countries, like from Holland, South Africa, and Tanzania. Taking them.
Yo, well, enjoy your stay.
Okay, enjoy too.
Subscribe to Welcome DC.
Everything is full booked.
Welcome to Durban.
Alright. We're coming from somewhere there. Woo! Okay. Can you say hello to my audience?
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm Crystal.
Crystal.